Nearpod is another wonderful tool for creating either a teacher-led or student-paced interactive lesson for your students. You can get there by going to nearpod.com and then either signing up as a teacher or selecting Log In. If you're in Fort Mill School District, you can also access Nearpod from your ClassLink Launchpad by going to the app library and finding the Nearpod app. Once you're in Nearpod, you can do the teacher login with Google to sign into Nearpod. You'll see once you're in here, it will bring you to your library. You can search for lessons in your library and also for content created by other teachers in the Nearpod library or under teacher resources. If you're starting from scratch for your lesson, simply click the Create button and it will ask you if you want to create a lesson video or from Google Slides. Please note that integration from Google Slides will allow you to do that for free, but there is a 30-day free code with that gold membership of Nearpod. So let's just go ahead and create a lesson, and I'll show you how to do this without upgrading to Nearpod Gold. From your lesson, you'll see the first thing it will ask you to do is add your content and activities. From the content slide, you can see all the different type of content so that you can insert into your Nearpod. If you click slideshow and add a slideshow, you do have the ability to add a slideshow from your Google Drive. However, if you do this, students will be able to advance each page of those slides even during a teacher-led presentation. So I'll go ahead and do that for you so you can see what that looks like. And then I'll show you another alternative that you could use if you prefer to have the whole lesson be teacher-led. Depending on the size of your slideshow, it may take a moment for that to process, but while that file is processing, you can keep working. So let me show you your other option. From the Add Content and Activities, you also have the ability to just add a slide. And from the slide, you'll see that you have the ability to insert an image to the slide with a title on the top, or simply add a background image. That is what I would recommend using if you want to create an instructor-paced activity where the students can't advance through the slides without the teacher. So the way that you would do that is open up your slideshow. That could be a PowerPoint file, it could be a PDF, it could be a Google Slideshow. So if you're in Google Slides, we'll go to File and Download, and we'll select a PNG or a JPEG. Either file type will work. And you'll see that just slide 1 was selected, so I only have slide 1 downloaded here. Then from Nearpod, I can click on the background icon and I can simply drag and drop slide 1 here. Now, my favorite part about Nearpod is as you're working, when you click this preview button at the bottom, it will give you a quick preview so you can see what your students would see. So let's go ahead and save and exit that. And let me show you the preview version of the slideshow versus the one individual slide that I downloaded as an image and added in here. So when I hit preview, you'll notice I love this, that I'm seeing the student preview side of things. So again, if you just insert a slideshow, your students are going to be able to click through each of these slides whenever they want, whenever they're ready. They can also go on to the next slide, and this would be the image slide that we took that one Google slide and downloaded it as an image, and you can see that slide will not allow them to advance through without the teacher. Just another note of some of the other different content and activity that you can add into Nearpod. They have virtual field trips using VR and 3D images and your PhET labs and simulations, and you can also insert PDFs in here as well. But under the Activities tab, you have the ability to add some interactive experiences for your students, including Flipgrid built in, collaborative boards, polls, drawings, questions, open-ended questions, quizzes, matching pairs. And one of my favorites is this Time to Climb game. This is a great interactive game where you can go in and insert questions and answers and add those into your Nearpod file. When you're finished, it will ask you to provide some lesson details here, including your lesson name, your description, the grades, the subject, etc., so that you are able to find that file later on. And then you'll notice that that file will now live in your library. Once a file is in your library, you will notice that when you hover over the file, you have three options for presenting this lesson. Live participation plus Zoom, which we will not use in Fort Mill School District as we're not a Zoom district, or live participation or student paced. If you were wanting to do a teacher-led activity, you would click live participation, and you would notice once you're there, you then have the ability to tell your students to go to joinnearpod.com and enter this code. You can see you also have the ability to add the link or the Google Classroom integration where your students can click on that link. Once your students are in your Nearpod, you will know because in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see your student list here as well. You will also see from this middle window here the different slides and different pages in your Nearpod presentation. And you have the ability to hide or show student names when students are answering questions if you add those to your class. You also have the ability to open up a whiteboard if you need additional space during your lesson to either annotate or write something quickly for your students. When you're finished, you also have the ability to add activities on the fly to make your Nearpod lesson even better. And another great feature of Nearpod is this ability to switch to student view so that you as a teacher will know exactly what this will look like from the student side of things. You can also switch back to the teacher view. And you'll notice under Nearpod, at the end of your session, you would end your session, but you also have access to your reports. When you end this session, it will also end that session on your student devices as well. And from your Nearpod library, on the left-hand side, you can click on reports to get all of your student data. So if there's questions or quizzes and everything embedded in here, this is how you can get your detailed responses. You can also run those reports and quickly grab the grades from those. So again, Nearpod is a wonderful way to create teacher-led lessons and even student-paced lessons.